Hey guys, welcome to You and I Design Buttons for Games, the place where you and I become better UI artists and designers. This week, we're going to be recreating a button that you might have already seen on the channel introduction video. Let's launch Illustrator and let's dive straight into this button tutorial. Okay guys, we're going to create a new document. You can make this whatever you want. I'm just going to make it 500 by 500 and I'm going to keep the settings default. I'm just going to create a background image here, just so we've got something to work against that isn't just a white canvas. I'll remove the stroke. I'm going to head over to Illustrator's gradient tool. I'm going to select freeform gradient, which is a new feature actually. If you've not seen it before, I suggest looking into it. It's really cool. It's a great addition to Illustrator. I'm going to import a swatches folder that I already created previously. I quite like this one, so just going to colorize the four corners quickly. You can select whatever colors you like really. I'm just going to use these colors here. I'm just going to name this background. I'm going to lock that up so it's not interfering with what we're doing. And then I'm going to create a button now using the rectangle tool. Let's do 175. I'm just gonna center that up to the canvas. 175 is actually not what I was hoping, so I'm just going to take that down to 125. That'll do for now. We'll come back to the size later. I'm going to select the button and I'm just going to change the radius of the corners to maybe 20 pixels. It looks pretty good. I'm going to open the appearance panel and I'm going to change the fill to a gradient wrap. I'm going to hit G and then I'm just going to change the direction of the gradient. I was using hotkeys there, but you could do it this way. I basically set it to -90 degrees. I'm just going to change the intensity of the gradient color there. I'm going to reduce the white just so we've got a little bit more value to work with when it comes to adding highlights and things like that. Okay, cool. I'm going to head up to Effect and I'll go to Stylize and I'm just going to add a drop shadow. The reason I like doing this early is it just allows me to get a little bit closer to the final result. I'm just going to blur the hell out of it. I'm going to offset the y-axis, so that's looking pretty cool. Way too intense though, so let's just drop that down. Let's see what 30 looks like. Let's do 40 and we'll just settle there for now. Okay, that's looking pretty cool. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. What I'll do is, I'm still not happy with the height of that, so I'm just going to select the top anchor points and I'm just going to shift and the arrow key up and down to change the height of that. I'm just going to align that to the center vertically and horizontally again. So we've pretty much got our button shape there, quite happy with. What I want to do though, I want to add a stroke. So what I've done, I've just dragged the gradient from the fill here over to the stroke, and that's going to create the stroked gradient for me. So I'll open the gradient panel now, and I'm going to select the stroke gradient, not the fill one, the stroke one. And I'm just going to set this to, let's see what -90 looks like. That should give us a similar, yeah, that should basically give us the same thing. So we're not really going to see anything now, but let's just increase this value to 95 and then I'll decrease this to about, let's say 20. And now we should see a step. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. So quite happy with that. I'm going to press T and then just put some text in. I'm going to do let's play. And I'm going to align the text to the center. I'm going to increase the size. And I'm going to select a font. I've already pre-selected one based on a font that I currently like using quite a lot. And that is Montserrat. It's pretty good, really nice font. I've selected the font and I've selected the object, but I'm going to click on the object and I'm going to align it to the rectangular button. Basically, if you select the element first that you want to align and then the thing you want to align it to, and then you select that again, it enables align to key object, and that just allows you to align the text to the bounding area of the key object. So that's a pretty cool efficiency tip there. I'm going to change the color of this text and I just want it white. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna put a drop shadow on this. I don't want the same drop shadow as what I've previously set. I want this to be a hard drop shadow and I just want to have it quite subtle, so I'm going to put it around 20. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Now what I need to do is I need to create an inner highlight around the top area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the button. I'm going to go to path and then I'm going to go to offset path, and we want to offset this path negatively, so I'm going to select that and I'll probably drop it down to 8. Let's see how that looks. It looks pretty good. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to zoom into these anchor points at the bottom and I'm going to press Alt. With the pen tool selected, I'm going to press Alt and I'm going to break these curves. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with the pen tool selected again, I'm just going to click on these anchor points that we don't need anymore. I'm going to select the 2 bottom ones and I'm going to shift arrow up just to move the bottom anchor points upwards. I'm going to remove the outer gradient because we don't need it anymore. And then I'm just going to hit G and just play about with this gradient really. I kind of don't really want it to be a color like that. So I'm just going to make both white and drop that down to, in fact, I'm going to make this black and I'll explain why. I drop this down to maybe like 40 opacity. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the appearance panel and then with the gradient selected, I'm just going to set the blend mode to screen. And what that's going to do is that's going to remove the black. The reason why we do this is because later on down the line when it comes to like creating kits for various marketplaces, funny things can happen with like transparencies and gradients and blend modes if you export them to EPSs. This way it allows us to do it in a way that it doesn't affect the EPS in a way like it like ruins it or creates a raster image out of it. So I'm pretty happy with that highlight. Let's just zoom out. Yeah, it looks looking pretty sweet. I want a little highlight in the top corner there and I want to highlight down here. There's a few ways you can do this. I'll do it with just a standard circle. And then I'm just going to shift that in a little bit. I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to adjust the gradient, length of that gradient. And then once again, I'm just going to head over to the appearance panel. You should probably spend a lot of time in the appearance panel, so it's good to get familiar with it. It's good to spend the time, you know, really learning how to use it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm just going to customize this here a little bit. Let me a little rotation. You can tweak this as much as you want, really. This is going to be a little bit rough just to sort of get the idea across. Feel free to spend as much time on it as you want. Pretty happy with that highlight for this example anyway. And I've just duplicated that. I'm going to place it in the bottom corner down here. Quite happy with that. Let's see if I can just reduce the intensity of it a little bit. It's quite bright here. Okay, cool. It's looking pretty good. Right, yeah, I like it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select everything apart from the text, and I'm going to Command G to group it together. And then I'm just going to label this button base. Just label this button elements. That's fine. Yeah, that's all pretty good. And the reason I've done this is because we're going to hop into the appearance panel again, which I've left open. And with the group, I'm going to apply new fill over the top of the group. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit opacity and then select color blend mode. And you're not going to see anything change really, because all we've done is apply black over the grayscale, and you're not going to see any difference. But if we select another color, you're going to see we're almost pretty much there with the button. So I'm going to select the stroke of the overall button container, and I'm going to just place the stroke on the inside just so that the values of the stroke are getting picked up by the color as well. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this down to about 50%, sorry, and it's looking pretty good.
Slayed it, guys. I'm so proud of you. If you liked this video and you found value in it, give it a big thumbs up and share the content with your friends. Also, subscribe using the button below and you'll be notified when I drop new content. If you have any feedback, place them in the comments section below. Your feedback's going to help me refine my process, iterate on it, and deliver you the best content possible. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Catch you next time.